Have you ever heard this advice? You should invest in your backyard because you know your area well. Even though this is a great advice, it might not work for everyone. For example, let's say you live in Chelsea. If you're here in the UK, you know Chelsea is one of the most expensive areas in the UK. Because Chelsea is one of the most expensive areas in the UK, if you were to invest in Chelsea, I would say that will be quite hard for you to invest there. You might be looking for deals and it could take you ages to find a good property investment. So what should your approach be instead? Should you invest in the north for cash flow? Or should you invest here in the south for capital appreciation? This is one of the questions that people ask me the most. Walter, where should I invest? Should I invest for cash flow in the north, or should I invest in the south for capital appreciation? As you know me, I don't like just say things that sound good, and a lot of people would say to you, invest in your backyard because it just sounds easier and it sounds good. In this video, I'm going to tell you what I think when it comes to invest in the north or invest in the south. I think you should invest where it helps you to achieve your goal. So what do I mean by that? Let's say that you wanted to invest in property because you want to replace your income, and that is why you wanted to invest in property in the first place. And where do you live now? Your money would only buy, for example, one property, and as soon as you buy one property, you run out of money. Now, let's say with the same pot of money, if you invest elsewhere, you could replace your income. My question to you is, where would you invest? Would you still just buy one property and you know that you won't replace your income? Or you would buy a property in a different place and then maybe with the same pot, you could recycle and replace your income? Let me give another analysis which makes sometimes easier for you to understand. Instead of you buy a property that makes you only $2,000, you could invest the same pot of money, and that the same pot, instead of give you $2,000 a month, it will give you $10,000 a month. My question is, where would you invest? So here's the point. Everyone has a different goal when it comes to property investing. And why invest in London for capital appreciation when you need will be cash flow? Let's say if you wanted to replace your income, your need will be cash flow. Why would you invest in London if London only going to give you capital appreciation, not cash flow? I know some areas in London might give you some cash flow, but I can guarantee you some other areas in the north will give even greater cash flow. My point here, you should let your goal help you to pick the right area than listen just to the generic information, because the question you should ask yourself is, what do I want from investing in property? Is it for cash flow to help me to replace my income, or is it for capital appreciation to help me to build a long-term wealth? If you focus on your goal first, your goal will help you to make the right decision for you. Because remember, people, when say generic knowledge, they don't know your circumstance. That is how you decide if you're going to invest in the north for cash flow or in the south for capital appreciation. Now, I can hear some people say, but Valter, if I need cash flow and I decide to invest in the north, how about if something goes wrong? How about if a boiler breaks down and I'm miles away, so then how can I go there and fix it? Here's the thing, you won't. That's why you have letting agents. You just need to find a good letting agents where the letting agent will sort out. So if in case a boiler breaks down, letting agent will sort out. And the reality is sometimes investing far away is better because you don't have the knee reaction to go and fix things. And the government is putting regulations left, right, and center. I would even say it's better for you not to manage your own property. And why I'm saying that? Because I've done myself. I invest abroad. I invest in different countries, and also I invest different parts of the country, in the north, here in the south, and I have properties abroad as well. And I have people in my community, in the Ultimate Investor, that invest abroad, and we manage property. You just need to have a system. So the answer is, you don't need to go and fix the property. You need to have a system to find properties anywhere in the country. You need assistance to find the builders anywhere in the country. You need assistance to manage construction anywhere in the country. Also, you need a system to find the best letting agents that manage your portfolio. Yeah, so that's what you need. You don't need to worry about that you invest in the north because you cannot go and fix the property. You just need to have a system, and that system helps you. And that's why I can invest abroad. If something happens in the US, I need to go 13, 14 hours to fix that. No, really. So the letting agents will do that. So if you wanted to know the system I use, you can watch a video. I'm going to put a video in the description below. I will share with you exact the system I use to find properties, find letting agents, all of that. So if you focus on your goal, your goal will tell you exactly where you should invest. If you should invest for capital appreciation or cash flow, or even if you have to invest far away, that's what you decide. Remember, property investing is just a means to the end. It's all about giving you financial freedom. And I know I will hear people say, Walter, what if the boiler breaks down? Who are going to fix it? As I said, letting agents will do it for you. You don't need to do it yourself. And I know some people will say, how about the tenants? How about if the letting agent puts a bad tenant? A letting agent could put a bad tenants in the south as well, even if you invest here in the south. The moral of the story is, don't let your belief distract from your goal. If your goal is to become financially independent, and that will be achievable in the north, do it. Our objective is to achieve our goals as fast as possible. So what you should be considering when investing far away from home is how to pick the area of investing. So now what I'm going to do, I will give you a list of the things when you consider. So let's say you live in the south and want to invest in the north. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. And if these questions is yes, then you can invest. The first question is, does the area give me the cash flow that I want and I need? Only reason you wanted to invest outside of the area is for you, for example, to give you cash flow. So you need to make sure that the area gives you cash flow. The second question you wanted to ask is, how far do you need to travel on the weekends to view the property? Even though you don't want it to go and live there, but you wanted to travel to see if you like the area. So it's good for you to see. You don't want it to invest too far away, but in the beginning, you just wanted to go and see if you like the area. For example, I invest abroad and I tend to travel to US, to Africa, just to see the area. In this channel, also I share how do I pick areas when I start investing in US. If you see, there's a video there. I share step by step how you can do that. And then the third question you should ask is, do you like the area? When I invest in the area, I always ask myself if I like the area. Even though I'm not going to live there, I like to visit the area and see if I enjoy visiting the area. I would hate to invest in an area just for the return. So life is short. You need to go and see. I always prefer investing in an area that I like, I have a good vibe from the area, and also give me a good return. These are some questions, if you answer, that will help you to decide if you want to invest further afield. Now, when you should invest in the south? You should invest in the south when you have cash flow sorted out, meaning when you have enough houses bringing you positive cash flow. And you reach that point is where you can think about investing in the south for capital appreciation. Remember, if you buy every property in the south, the banks might stop lending you. Why? Because you have a lot of capital appreciation, but you don't have cash flow. And normally banks will say, I won't lend you anymore. I have quite a lot of students with that problem, so they had to restructure, sell some of the properties. Make sure you avoid this mistake. What I tend to do, I tend to buy 4 properties in the north and 1 in the south. That is my ratio, and that allows me to keep on building my portfolio from cash flow and capital appreciation. So let's conclude. When you decide where you should invest, ask yourself, do you need cash flow, or would you like to invest for a long-term wealth? If you need cash flow, go to an area that provides you cash flow. If your cash flow is sorted and you wanted to build wealth through capital appreciation, then consider the south. There's no right or wrong answer. Your goal has the answer. And when you invest further afield, make sure just you answer these questions I mentioned earlier to help you to decide if you wanted to invest further afield. Now let me explain to you when I invest abroad. So what do I do? So if in case you want to invest abroad or you want to invest in the north, these are the 3 steps I do, at least 3 things I do. First, I check the return on the investment. I will always check if the area, how much return on investment the area will give me. So I do this because I always want to think about capital allocation. Is that money better invested elsewhere? I always look at that. So if in case I want to invest in for example, in Africa, I'm going to think, is the money here in Europe better? Would I get a better return? So this is one of the things I check. The second thing I check is the population and demographic. If I'm planning to invest, for example, in a house of multi-occupancy, for example, HMOs, I wanted to know how many people of that target age live in that area. This will help me to gauge the demand. The third thing I do as well, I check the average salary. I wanted to check how many, for example, professionals, I do invest for professionals. How many professionals are looking for rooms in that area? Remember, people will advise you to invest in areas that they know because it's easy. But easy doesn't mean the best decision in the long run. So I'm not saying to invest in the north is better than invest in the south because I don't know your circumstance. What I'm saying is that you should let your goal to guide you to get a better decision. I hope this video is useful and I hope that helps you to decide if you invest in the north or invest in the South. If you wanted to learn about systems and how to scale, watch the video in the descriptions below, because this is the video I put and I share all the systems I use to scale my portfolio and to help others to scale their portfolio too. I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.